Next to each letter, you'll see a capital letter, an E, a P, or an I. E stands for essentially correct, P stands for partially correct, and I stands for incorrect. And after grading each part of a question, take a look at all those letters and come up with a final score. Every free response question on the AP exam is worth a total of 4 points, regardless of how many parts A, B, and C it might have. So let's take a look at part A. We're going to set the mean to 288, and we want to figure out which balls travel too far. So we're figuring that out, finding a z-score. Z is 1.14, and therefore 12.65%. Part B. Same idea, we've got the 291.2, but now we want to be 99% certain, and so we want to figure out where we have to set the mean in order to achieve that 1%. And so we find the z-score at 1%, and that's 2.326. And then we just have to solve for the mean, which is about 284.69. And lastly, we want to keep everything the same. We want the 288. The 291.2 must be there. We got to have this 1%. So now we need a new standard deviation to make all of that work. So of course z is equal to 2.326 from before. And so now we're solving for the standard deviation set equal to 2.326, and that standard deviation comes out to be 1.38. Question 2, you will not see E's, P's, and I's, and the reason is it was just, the entire question was sort of read together, parts A, B, and C. For example, if you made a mistake on part A, but then interpreted it correctly in, say, part B, then you were given credit for part B even if you got penalized for part A. So part A, a lot of mistakes because people didn't have correct histograms. Remember, a histogram is a count, so we're looking at the number of defective items. And so, for example, there are 1 defective item happened twice, 2 defective items happened 4 times, and so on. So the histogram would look like this. That's 2, that's 4, I think 3 defective items is 8, something like that. And so it kind of looks like this. And so now that I've drawn that correctly, you can probably see that obvious from the histogram is that it is unimodal and symmetric. If you said, for example, that the mean is 3, you didn't get full credit for that. We're looking for something more in terms of shape. And then for part C, what is obvious from the scatter plot is that the number of defective items as we go from 0 days to 25 days has actually decreased. That's what we're looking for in part C.